Letizia Gambrell Boone, and I serve as your Vice President for Student Success and Engagement. I want to, first of all, thank you for coming together as a community in responding to these recent events that have occurred on our campus. I want to let you know that we are live streaming this event, so if you have family members, friends, other peers that can't get here physically, they can log on to livestream.com/VSU. That's livestream.com/VSU. We also have professionals from the counseling department that are here. If anyone is having issues or are concerned, don't know how to deal and process these events that have occurred, I'm going to ask the members of the counseling staff to please stand at this time so that you will know who they are. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask everyone to please stand. If you're upstairs, I'm going to ask you to come downstairs. This is a time for us to unite, and I'm going to ask Reverend Delano Douglas to come. And before we have any further conversation, we're going to pray. We're going to pray for the student. We're going to pray for our community. We're going to pray for the community at large. So I'm going to ask you to make a big circle around Anderson Turner Auditorium. So please just take the time at this time and touch the hand of someone that is standing beside you. Yes. Oh, I certainly am not going to do that. So there's a link in the back that's open, so please just make your way all the way around the back. We want one big circle for the Virginia State University family.
Bless you, Virginia State. There are a few things I want to share, but we do want to pray first. I'm going to take a bit of personal privilege. Monica Sanders. Monica Sanders. I saw her in here. Yes, please come. Please come. Monica Sanders is the mother of Frednisha Sanders and Frederick Sanders, the wife of a Virginia State University alumni, Frederick Sanders, and a minister who loves this university with all of her heart. Would you lead us in a prayer? Bless you, and for our student as well, and all of those. Bless you. Bless you.
Let us squeeze the person's hands next to us in signs of unity, that we're together on this, that this shall never happen again, that we will be more vigilant. In Jesus' name, let us go to the Lord. Most gracious Father, we thank you for a chance to come together. We're sorry we're coming together on this occasion if we have not come together just to thank you this morning for all that you did during the night, God. You still kept us safe from all hurt, harm, and danger. But God, we come today with concerns on our heart, God. We come today with heavy hearts, God. God, we come today saying no more. We come today saying something must be done, that we're about who to call and not about protocol today. with our fellow Trojan family member, but God, we're coming, laying our heart at your feet, God, asking you to massage it, God. God, look on those families, God, or that are even watching by live stream, and those parents, God, that don't know what's going on just by what their student is saying and what statement is coming out on Facebook. So we come right now in a collective agreement that, God, we shall stand and we shall be united, and evil must flee. So God, have your way in this meeting today. God, let it not be fluff, but God, understand that something must be done, God. If there are funds and resources needed, we ask you to provide it, God. If there are conversations that need to be had, we ask you to provide it right now in the name of your Son, Jesus the Christ. God, we will continue to put prayer first in everything that we say and everything that we do. But we look on the families, God, that have been affected by this. Not just us standing here or still on campus, but the families that are at the hospital, the families that are at home, those families, God, that are distraught. We lift them up to you right now in the name of Jesus, God, that they can make some sense going on. God, we lift them, the victim up to you, God, and the victims. We lift them up to you today. God, we ask you to dispatch your angels all around this campus, but let us be better angels on this campus, God. Let us understand that it's a privilege to be educated. It's a privilege to be where we are in this institution that started way before many of us were born, 1882, and will be here if we're diligent and great stewards when we're gone. So God, we bless you. Look on this president, this administration, the faculty, the staff, this campus ministry, and each and every person that has a ministry to students, God. Students are our customer at this point, and they shall reign and reign supreme in being educated to go out in the world to give back. Not only the educational responsibility, but the financial responsibility. So God, we ask you to let us be able to express ourselves on these microphones. Let us be able to ask questions. If there's anyone that needing counseling and prayer, God, that they will come forward in the name of Jesus, that they won't take it back to their room or their dorm, and it heightens to something else beyond who you are. So we love you, and we thank you for a privilege just to say thank you. We thank you for a privilege just to love upon you. You are first and foremost, and we love you for that. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. If you agree, say amen. 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 Amen.
Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. So I want to take just a few minutes, and honestly, I'm thankful for the opportunity to be at Virginia State. I know that it's been an interesting week, but I'm going to be honest with you. I would not want to be at any other campus doing what I do. I would not want to be at any other campus doing what I do. And I know this is not Sunday, and I know we have various faith traditions and beliefs here, but what I feel called to do is to speak from that which is meaningful to me. I'm not intending to preach, but I just kind of want to share from this perspective, and we welcome and thank you all for coming in. We are so thankful for the presence of people coming in, people with hearts and spirits that love Virginia State, that love each other. Sometimes it's hard to love one another, but that's what we've been called to do, and we're thankful. And we appreciate each and every person. I want to share, just as a moment of inspiration for me, these words that come from this book that I read sometime. There's a particular component of that book that goes by the name of Revelation 21, 1 through 6. It says, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of the heaven from God, prepared as a bride, beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Look, God's dwelling is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain. For the old order of things has passed away. He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. Then he said, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. And he said to me, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I give water without cost from the spring of the water of life. What that means to me, and I'm just going to chat for a little bit, and I'll give about 8 minutes or so. I just want to chat for a little bit. I will make all things new is what he said. The old order of things has to pass away. Folks, we got to make a new Virginia state. The old way of doing things have to pass away. And dare I say, even the old ways are sometimes the things that we do for fun. Come on, that's got to pass away. The old things that make it seem like that violence is the way of solving problems, that's got to go. The old way of doing things, finessing some stuff that's a threat to the people who, come on somebody, those old things have to pass away. It's going to take all of us who have an interest in Virginia State University to change this thing. Look, we got to all be on the same team, whether we're students, whether we're faculty or staff, whether we're campus police, whether we're from the 757 to 202 to 909 to 201 to 804 to 434 to 123, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We all got to come work together. Because the only way that we're going to be able to get what we came to this university to get, what our parents sent us to this university to get, is if we come together. Now, what that's going to mean, again, is some of the old stuff that we used to do, hello somebody, some of that old stuff that we used to do has got to pass up. Some of that old stuff, I know it's fun, I know it's college, but come on, some of that old stuff got to pass away. And you know what some of that new stuff that has to come in? If I see something that don't look right, come on somebody. Come on somebody. I want you to believe what Chief Bragg. Let me tell you what I want you to do. I know his name is Chief Bragg, but this, can I rename you for a second? This Tyrone. So if you see something that ain't right, you better call Tyrone. You see what I'm saying? If you see something that's not right, say something. Say something. Not putting the blame on us, but what we have to do is say it if we see it. Somebody look at your name and say it if you see it. Let's do that. Let's protect each other. Let's protect each other. Some of the places that we go for fun sometimes, we might have to avoid them. And I'm not trying to say anything about us. We got to be hyper vigilant. You know, when I was a kid, my mom used to tell me that you got to be twice as good to get half as far. When it comes to the way certain people do things, we almost have to step up and be above reproach, not because it's fair, but because we might have to do a little extra because of the situation and the environment that we live in. We live in a world that does not want to see positivity. When we make millions of dollars to have images that are negative portrayed, that lets us know that there are some folks that have an interest in not seeing us realize our dreams. But guess what? Each and every person in this room has a soul that is just as precious as the richest millionaire and as the poorest individual on earth. Every person matters. Every Trojan matters. And if it's going to help a Trojan for me to shut the door when I don't know who's behind me, when I enter the hall, boop, boop, I'm going to shut the door. I mean, everybody walking around with their headphones. I'm sorry, bro, I didn't see you. I don't know you. I didn't see you in my head, but the door is shut. Whatever we have to do, if we go out, we have to go out together. Whatever we have to do to work together, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's have every person who has an interest in Virginia State be seen as being people on the same team. The old way of putting people down when we get frustrated has got to pass away. The old way of just thinking that things are useless has got to pass away, because each professor, each staff member, each faculty person, each person in the dining hall, each person from GCA, each person in the police department, each person who's a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, or graduate student matters. Matters. We would not be Virginia State without each person here. So I implore us all for us to love one another. I look forward to a day where you don't have to worry about guns. If I had my way, if I were king for a day, nobody would have a firearm. Did you hear what I said? Nobody would have a firearm if I was king for the day. Yes, I know that people, they say people kill people, not guns, but guess what? People with guns kill people. Come on, somebody. So what I'm saying is I want to look forward to a day when that old stuff has passed away, and where you can go anywhere that you want to go on this campus and feel like you're going to be safe. Whether it's another Trojan or whether it's somebody who lives in the community, you feel safe. That is important to us. Let's bless one another. Let's speak positively to one another. When we're frustrated, let's find a way to express it positively. Because, you know, sometimes we kill folks with our words long before we even think about what's in our hands. So if you all could indulge me, I'm about to hand the mic to prayers. If you could indulge me for a moment, can we just kind of stand up? Can we stand up? This is the beauty of what God has called into existence. People standing up, being strong and firm, young, educated, and even younger educated people who have a purpose, which is to glorify your Creator, which is to use hands to build and to bless. And if you could find about 5 people, whether there's been enmity in the department or enmity in the room, if you could find about 5 people to just touch them, just high-five them or shake their hand or something, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Just that human contact, just that blessing right there, that human contact. Just make it clap. You know what I'm saying? Make it clap. You know what I mean? Make it clap. Hug somebody. Love somebody. Tell them that you're glad to see them. Tell them that you're glad that they're a Trojan. Tell them that you're glad that they're the VP. You know what I mean? That you're glad that they got the cap on right there. So we are just so thankful for that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you do our bless you. Bless you. Let's clap for Virginia State and clap for our 14th president, Dr. Makola Abdullah. God bless you.
Please sit. Please sit. Thank you. Thank you so much. I will be brief. I believe that there are many here who have comments, questions, and I want to make sure that we have time for those comments and questions. First, thank you. Thank you so much, Rev. Making sure that we are, yes. For making sure first that we're on point, that we are focused on that which we are supposed to be focused on, and most importantly, that we understand that a young man is in the hospital. He's in stable condition, but he's in the hospital. He's in stable condition. And then we keep him and his family first. That's very important. So thank you. Thank you so much, Rev. Second, I just wanted to let you know that I know you believe this, and I certainly do, that the incidents, the recent incidents that have happened, isolated incidents, the incidents are not connected as far as we can tell now, are not indicative of the values that we teach. It's not indicative of the values in our heart here at Virginia State University. It is a storm, but as many say, this too shall pass. But it's not indicative of who we are. It is incredible to think that there are many right now who don't feel safe at Virginia State University. I did a press conference earlier, and a reporter actually asked me that question: what would be my response to parents and students? I want to tell you that I believe in Virginia State. I believe that some of that, and I'll talk about them in detail in a minute, but some of the things that we're working on is moving forward, that I believe that we can have a safe campus here at Virginia State if we work together. But I also understand, and I'm fully knowledgeable, that if people don't, then I understand the choices that they have to make for themselves and for their family. I don't fault anyone for wanting to be in an environment that is safe, and if at this time you feel that way about Virginia State, well, I understand. As a parent, as someone who loves young people, I understand. I understand how important safety is to an institution. You can't study and get good grades and chase your dreams if you don't feel safe. And so one of our sometimes number one priority is to make sure that you are safe here on campus. So here are some of the things that we're doing now to move in that direction. There are short-term things that you will see today. There are medium-term things that have to get ramped up a little, and then there are longer-term things. In the short term, we will provide much more lighting on campus tonight. We have some generator lights, the ones that make all the noise. We're moving those onto campus, particularly in some of the high traffic areas. It will be heavily lit tonight and for the foreseeable future. Second, we have gone to, in the evening, cars are only allowed on campus through one gate. Effective starting now, for the near term, that will be true all the time. So those of you who drive to campus, you want to take a special time to know that you'll have to come in through the front gate. Additionally, we are hiring additional officers to work in the police department. That was already underway, and so some of those officers will be sooner rather than later, but we have a commitment of resources to hire 10 additional officers. We will get on that post haste, but most importantly, as you know, we have to make sure that we hire the right officers, and so it's not speed that's number one in this, though speed is something that's important. We also know that on our campus, right now with the fencing and the gates, while our fencing and our gates stop vehicular traffic after a certain hour, there are still quite a bit of places where pedestrian traffic can come through. We are looking at, in the medium term, where we have fencing, how we seal that up and how we create a card swipe system so that when you come to a pedestrian gate, that you can come in. That will, as you can imagine, take a little longer. In the immediate future, what we will be putting up, you'll see little signs. There'll be no trespass signs. They're little, but we got a bunch of them, and they're going up. The reason why is that when people trespass onto campus, you have to provide them with notice or warning. Those signs to provide notice or warning. Once that notice and warning is there, if someone is trespassing on campus, someone who should not be here, not about the education of Virginia State University, then we can remove them from campus. One of the things that Rev said, and then I'll stop and close, and then Chief will join me, and we will take questions and or listen to statements, is that it is important that as a campus community that we work together to make our community as safe as possible. That when we see something, that we say something. One of the comments I said earlier in a town hall meeting, I think at 1 o'clock, was that, and this is directed to the students, well, and to the faculty and staff, that there isn't anyone here at Virginia State University that doesn't want the best for your safety. There may be faculty or staff sometimes that you disagree with, but there isn't anyone here at Virginia State, not a member of the faculty and staff, that doesn't want for you to be safe every minute of every day. And so if you tell us, we can begin to make the moves to make sure that those who should not be here, whether they be visitors or students or faculty or staff, if anyone on campus who is not about the mission of what we do at Virginia State University, that we can change that. And so again, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you caring so much about Virginia State. And with that, I will pause and pass the microphone to whomever. Chief will join me. And if, for those who would like to make statements or comments or have questions, we will do our very best. Thank you. If you raise your hand, Asia. I'm sorry. Say again? He's got the mic. You don't have to stand up, but if you can talk into the mic, everybody can hear you.
One of the ways that we could prevent the locals coming on campus is to create a hotline. So if we do see these locals on campus, we can remain anonymous, and we can tell instead of making a whole phone call. Because sometimes I know we don't have signal on campus, so it'll be easier to send a text message to the hotline, or, you know.
We do. Hello, everyone. My name is David Bragg. I'm the chief of police here. And before I answer your question, I want to take the time to tell you, as your chief of police, as a father, and as a man in the community, there's nothing more that I want and my staff want is for a safe environment around campus. And I just really want you guys to understand that we take the safety of each and every one of you, the staff, the faculty, the students, and the contractors, seriously. To answer your question, we do have that currently. We have a Raid Guardian alert. We have the Raid Guardian app, which you can send messages to the police department confidential. Also on the website, we have an email address. I just sent out a letter with that email address on it. If you click on it and send us a confidential email, we can review that email and investigate it. We will not be able to contact you again because we do not have access to the information coming to who sent the email. So it's even confidential from us. Now, if you want us to know who you are, you have to put that information in the email because it's extremely confidential. Also, our phone numbers are stopping by us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to give us that information. All we need is a little snippet of information, and it can take us far. So any little, tiny little piece of information you may have about any crime, any incident, any person on campus, if you give us that little bit of information, it can let us take it and run with it and make and solve something relatively quickly.
And another thing is, my sister came up here for homecoming, and it was stated to me that when she was here, she did not see any campus security or police officers, and the way she got on campus was smooth. And this is not the first time that she's been up here.
You said this is during homecoming?
This is during homecoming. She's came up here in September. I've been here since July 30th, so she's been up here numerous times.
Well, I know that we had pretty much over 60 police officers here during homecoming, so I'm not aware of that. I think their police officers were, and security was well represented. Yes, ma'am. Oh.
Okay, so I wanted to go back to what she was talking about, like how her sister got on campus really easy. It actually is pretty easy for you to get on campus because even coming through the front gate, like they look at your ID, but they don't even look at everybody who's in the car's ID. You can just flash them literally anything.
Well,
you can get
okay, let's talk about that for a second. The campus in the roads on, excuse me, the campus and the roads on the campus is state roads. So although we shut the campus down, it's still an open campus, which means the community have a right to access the public roads. So it's a balance for us when we shut down state roads versus and allowing people in and out. So we use that discretion, and we have to make sure that when we do it for a well-purposed reason, i.e. today. And showing the ID, ensuring the ID is to make sure we know who's coming on campus, and that usually start about 6:30 to give our graduate students a chance to get on campus when their class starts at 6.
My question is in regard to how frequently we change the IDs, because you can get an ID, you can transfer, you can leave, anything like that, and you still have the same ID that looks the same as like current students. And you can flash that, there's no like security thing, so you can look like somebody, use their ID. You can have an ID from before you transfer, you can have an ID from before you left the school.
The gentleman who's going to answer that question is right next to you. He's the one who's in charge of that. Mr. Harris?
Yes. Beginning with next semester, there is going to be a security decal on the back of your Trojan card. Every time you get validated, a new security decal is going to go on there. Why is that? Because exactly like this young lady just said, we need to be able to determine who is currently validated and supposed to be here on campus, okay? So that was one of the things that we're looking at to improve security.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to make the comment to the student body that we are very fast to complain when I feel like the campus does do their best. So for instance, Shania, you mentioned, and Asia, you mentioned the security at the front gate. I know that personally, one time I was stopped and a security did check everyone's ID and he did take down my license plate. And I rolled my eyes and I was like, oh my God, he's taking so long. And we complain about that. However, once something like this happens, then we're like, well, there wasn't enough security and nobody was doing their job. So I feel like it is about personal responsibility and about just abiding by it. You know, they implemented a curfew at 11 o'clock just last week, and everyone complained about it and said, oh my God, now we have a curfew, and then this incident came, and now there wasn't enough rules regulated, you know? So I just feel like you have to choose your side. If you want more security,
Hi. I just had a random question. I know you said that the events were not VSU related, meaning that I guess no VSU student was involved, but...
No, I'm sorry. If I said that, that's not what I meant to say. What I was trying to say is that the two events weren't related to each other. But in the last event, the gentleman who was shot is a VSU student. Okay.
Yeah, my fear is that, so you just have random people coming on campus firing, or like...
It's an active investigation, and so there are things about the specific investigation that we're not at liberty to talk about. Chesterfield County is leading the investigation, and so you'll forgive me if I don't go deeper into what you said.
Good afternoon. I have 3 suggestions for the campus. So my first question is, will there be a security checkpoints at various areas of campus to ensure the safety of all students while they engage in their everyday activities?
Would there be a security check?
Yes,
at
checkpoint.
every event, you say?
No, during in various areas around the campus. The first one is when you come in, if you drive on campus, but around the campus, will there be checkpoints?
No, not particularly checkpoints, but what there will be is officers asking CIDs. And we ask that the students just please give us some type of information if they know someone is not a student or shouldn't be here. So please, students, don't think that it's something negative if we say, can we see your ID? There's many students here, thousands, and we have not seen everyone. So if we say your ID, can we see your ID, it means nothing negative. We're just trying to make sure we put out a strong message that if you come on VSU campus, you will be stopped and possibly arrested.
And briefly, President Abdullah touched on the topic that there will be fences that will be installed around the perimeter. How long do you think it would take for those fences to be installed?
To be honest, I'm not sure at this moment.
Okay.
We started looking at that after homecoming,
Okay.
and we're still, kind of looking at quotes, how much it'll cost. That's why I named it kind of a medium, to long-term activity. But I don't have an exact time frame, but I promise you when I do, that I will share it with you.
Okay, thank you. And I have one more question. I believe that a night watch program needs to be put in place so there's 24-hour watch over the entire campus. When will that be implemented?
I'm trying to understand night watch. We have,
Neighborhood watch,
I'm sorry?
like a neighborhood watch.
Oh, like a neighborhood watch. That's the active students participating, you mean, or staff members? Okay. We can work on that program immediately. But we do have, what we have is our interns, et cetera, right along with us. We have faculty and staff at all points out giving us information. Of course, you will see that as early as tonight as well. Because a lot of times they may be in the shadows, but they're giving us information as they can, and they're around. So we have that, but we can definitely integrate the community more so with us. I have absolutely no problem with that.
There are many of us who will be walking tonight, faculty and staff. I will be out tonight. If there are any other faculty and staff who would like to join, please send Chief an email. We got a meeting later on this afternoon. But there will be faculty and staff out tonight to kind of assist to make sure that we're safe tonight.
So I'm a dancer on campus, and we have practice in Foster from 7 to 10. From 7 to 10 in Foster, and when me and my sisters walk from Foster to Moore, like we can walk through the campus and not see any security from walking from Foster to Moore. So I feel like if maybe you had like the police officers posted in certain, not just moving around campus, but posted in certain areas of the campus, that might help too. Because I can literally walk from Foster to Moore and not see no security, and I feel like that's a problem.
Thank you for your question. We would look into it. Yeah, so what we do is, we have in our cameras monitored 24/7. So sometimes you may not see an officer, but our cameras are monitored and recording, and we have staff inside there 24 hours, 7 days a week, monitoring the cameras. So at times you may not see an officer, but I can assure you we're around.
All right, good evening.
Good evening. Good afternoon.
My main concern really is this side of campus. I lived in Quad 1 and then lived in Quad 2, and, as a freshman, as a sophomore. And personally, it was too easy for locals to walk on campus. I would physically see a local walk from either the back and come in, or come in inside and come in. And I'd just be like, what? And then next thing you know, they're chilling in the lounge with us, playing spades with us. Like, it was really that easy. So I'm just wondering, until the gates are up, until we can stop, their foot movement, will there be extra security around that side of campus?
Very good question. We have stepped up officers in the area. You will see them on foot. You will see them right there in the area on foot. You will see them in vehicles. And so you will see other agencies. So you will see definitely an increased presence over in that area. In terms of what you mentioned to me, please contact us if they come on campus and you know they're not supposed to be there. We can take care of that very easily.
Okay, my name's Kiara Davis, and I'm a final year sociology student, and I'm just going to use what I've learned here to try to explain the situation how I see it. I don't believe that communities that have more police are ultimately safer. I believe communities with more resources create a safer environment for everyone because they're well fed, They're not worried about where they're going to get their next meal. They have jobs and things like that. I see the campus trying to give like the food pantry 2 days a week and other small things, but it's nothing like on a larger level that actually helps this economically desolated environment really thrive. So trying to create a fortress of an institution in barricading ourselves from the community from which the students come from, I feel like is a mistake, because we're telling them that you're ultimately the criminal element that we don't want, and those people are on campus. They may live right down the street. So in order to create a safer environment, building fences, having cameras, having all these things ultimately just make us feel like we're in a box and being surveilled, which we're already being surveilled when I'm on the streets of Colonial Heights. I'm already being surveilled in Chesterfield. I'm already being surveilled everywhere. So I don't want to come to school and see all these police, undercovers, K9s, whatever y'all want to put in order for us to be safe. You know what I mean? Y'all got money for 10 people to be on a police force, but y'all don't have money for us to eat. You don't have money for us to eat. I know people who go to class without eating nothing. People who stay up all night trying to get these grades, because if they don't have a job. So we have to face the economic realities of the situation and trying to just think about how we could make ourselves further away from the population from which we come from is a mistake.
Can I say?
I like to. I'd like to thank you for your comment.
Yes, Kia.
I think it is critically important that we recognize and remember that Virginia State University is a part of the community. That Petersburg and Ettrick, that Colonial Heights and Chesterfield County, that we are a citizen, we are a part of this community. Many of us in this room live in this community. Not just the people who live on campus, right? But those who live off campus. I don't want you to interpret what we're talking about as a separation from community. And I want to give you an example. There are, now again, I think 95% of any group is doing the right thing. But there are some students, there are some faculty, there are some staff, and again, a small minority who this is not the right place for them. And maybe somewhere else is a better place. Again, a small minority. I'm not talking, but it doesn't take but a small minority, right? I think the same is certainly true for visitors. I'm not saying that we should wall ourselves off and not be a part of the community. But just as if we know that there's a small percentage of students or faculty or staff who may not be doing the right things and representing the values of Virginia State University, we similarly have to do the same for a small number, not a representative sample of visitors. And I think that is particularly important.
How's it going? I just want to say two things. I'm an OA at Quad 1, actually. And as annoying as it may seem, we do say the ID 24/7, like ID. We know y'all live there, but it's off the simple fact that maybe somebody might have an ID and they don't live there. And when they tap the door and they open it, and they open the door and stuff, we don't really get to see the IDs if they just rushing through the hallway. So that's why we stop you at the desk and say, oh, come show your ID. Let's see like if the ID matches your face and all that. And we check the doors, we check the room number, if it matches up with your name, and see if you live in the building. I know it's annoying, but we have to do it. That's our job. Secondly, on behalf of what the lady in the back was saying, I'm not sure. I guess it does make me uncomfortable as well when there's a whole lot of police on campus, because we like a lot with K9s and stuff like that, because it just doesn't make me feel any more safer. It makes me actually feel like I have to be afraid of something. Only way that we could probably possibly move past is if everybody's on the same page in order to move forward, and there has to be sacrifices to be made in terms of certain things that we do on campus, that so things like this would not happen. And that's all. Like, just make certain sacrifices, certain situations, and things will come out differently, and they might not go as bad. Thank you.
Hello. Okay. So, to my knowledge, there were two. Can you hear me? Is that better? To my knowledge, there were 3 people inside of Quad 1 last night who don't belong here. So I feel like if doing the extra to make sure that we're safe is what you need to do, then you might as well do it. If you don't feel comfortable here and you don't like what they have to do to make sure that we're safe, you can go. Nobody's forcing you to stay here. You're paying to be safe, and they're doing what they have to do to make sure that you're safe, and you're just complaining and complaining. You can leave. We're not forcing you to stay here.
So, hi everybody. I am Dr. Z, Auntie Z, and I wanted to kind of go back to what Kiera said, and I want to kind of point out an elephant in the room to all of my babies, because I got the phone call last night from 3 of my babies at probably about 12:30 in the morning, and I've been here for a while, and I've seen tragedies happen on this campus, and pretty much I've been ostracized because I don't believe that any parent should send their children to a place to get educated and end up in a body bag or end up in a hospital. And I know as a parent myself, I didn't send my son to college to come back in a body bag, or I didn't send my son to college to come with a criminal record. I send him to college to get a college degree, and that's my wish for each and every one of y'all. So I'm going to say this out of love for y'all, and the people who know me know where I'm coming from, but I'm going to say this out of love for y'all. Number one, as a faculty member, I really don't want to be policed. And like Kiera said, I get policed on the campus, but let me give y'all a gut punch real quick, because I'm about to hold some accountability, and y'all can get mad if you want to, and you can come see me in class on Tuesday. I walk this campus. First, I'm from Berry Farms. That's number one. And in Berry Farms, which is the projects in Southeast, there's really one way in and one way out. And that's designed to control the flow of traffic in order to minimize crime in the area. I didn't come here to teach in Berry Farms. I came here to teach scholars, to nurture scholars. That's number one. So you have to be careful about how we're assigning blame. And I know that there are outsiders who, may pose a threat. There are also insiders that may pose a threat. And then you got to look at how you may pose a threat to yourself. Let me give you a couple of examples, because I'm a gut punch y'all out of love for y'all. Hold on. Don't clap. Don't clap. I have walked this campus. I walk this campus often because my car's broke, so I got to park the other car outside. I walk the campus. I smell weed on campus all the time. I go past the gazebos and I see brothers in the gazebo smoking, and I'm saying, it's people outside, like, why are you smoking weed outside? I've been in the dorms, and I've been in the dorms where I see the presence of weed outside. So I'm gonna tell y'all, like I tell the students in my class, my babies in my class, y'all are here for a purpose, and so there's a level of both accountability and peer accountability that you have to take. If you smoking weed, you got to get your weed from someplace. So you can't talk about, you want to be safe, but then you bring in the element of the street onto this campus. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all understand? And I'm not saying that that's everybody and always. And then I'm going to tell y'all something else about snitching. I just had a conversation with Chief Bragg, and I'm going to stamp him because he's not just the police chief. He is like a member of the family, and I respect him for that. And so we got to start, to recondition ourselves about how we look at the people who are here for us. But then we got to be careful. So if y'all are all asking, and I'm just telling you, if y'all are now in this town hall meeting and you all are holding the president accountable and Chief Bragg accountable for creating a police state here, then I'm going to have problems because now I'm going to have to mitigate the school to prison pipeline. So if you want the police to be here and you want people to surveil you, both you and your comrades have to be careful about what you do on campus. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? And if you want the freedom to be able to develop your intellect and to nourish yourself and do what you have to do in order to advance to the next phase of your life, you also have to be responsible for creating an atmosphere here that is a family atmosphere, because we all here for the same thing. This supposed to be a family. We're supposed to be one family. Shouldn't be nobody fighting on campus. We're not going to talk about that, because underneath the people getting shot, people are also fighting on campus because somebody we not in the street. This is a new game. Y'all are here for a purpose, and the game is to finish, get your degree so you can move on and do what you have to do. So I'm also holding all of y'all who are in this room accountable for creating the space that you want to exist in. And the space that you should want to exist in is a space that is free from surveillance, where you can move freely, where you could develop freely, where you could create freely without the presence or having to create a prison within an institution that you're supposed to be learning in order for you to feel safe. So I am holding all of y'all accountable for creating the environment and making you aware that if you want to create a police state on campus, you're going to have to make sure that you're doing what you got to do to be a law-abiding citizen, so you don't find yourself up in Chesterfield jail. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? And for all of y'all, I'm thankful to my babies for calling me. Most people on this campus have my cell phone number. I'm going to give it to you again. It's 240-351-9528. I'm a partner with Chief Bragg. If you don't feel comfortable with him, if you want to call me, if it's some beef or something and you need to call me and I got to come out of my house at 3 o'clock to make sure y'all are safe, I'm willing to do that, because I don't need any more tragedies on Virginia State University's campus. I'm holding them accountable for keeping the external factor out, but I'm also holding y'all accountable for doing what y'all got to do inside to make sure that we don't see that happen. Y'all feel me? All right, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Z. I think if you wouldn't mind, if there's one thing that I could piggyback of what you said, is that here, we're not in the streets. Many of us in the room have come from difficult circumstances where conflict resolution sometimes begets violence. What you're actually here for, or here to do, is to learn that there are much better ways to do it. There are individuals in this room that I don't always agree with. There are individuals in this room who are fighters, and the way they choose to fight is with their words, with their pen, with due process. And there are certainly of those things that you can learn here. Thank you very much, Dr. Z. I appreciate you. Rev?
I just have a question about how many emergency posts we have on campus and like the location of them.
She said emergency posts. How many? There are 50. 50.
At 50.
The emergency that you can press the button?
Yeah, because when I notice them, I see them in awkward places. I don't see them in the relevant places that we need them to be.
There are 50. There are 50. One of them. Go ahead.
If she's talking about the call boxes, there are 50. Every classroom building has an emergency phone. Every classroom in the classroom building has an emergency phone. Every residence hall, when you all don't carry them off the wall, has emergency phones. Okay? And that's real, because we have had emergency phones in the residence halls ripped off the walls. Those phones are there for your protection. Okay?
Also, what about the white poles that are located outside? Okay.
That's the 50 call boxes. the emergency call boxes?
I think that we should post the emergency number around because the incident last night happened outside my window and I didn't have the actual number to the police on campus to call. I feel like that should be available to everybody.
Okay.
Okay, we'll make sure it's posted out more. No, that's no problem.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Adrienne Bond. I work in the Office of Institutional Advancement. And institutional advancement is located on the front side of campus as you come up the hill, that small little house across from Lot 5. Wednesday night, I worked late and didn't realize I was the only person left in the building. I looked outside, I said, man, it's dark out there. I'm parked in the parking lot. But I'm smart enough to know if I call campus police, they can do one of two things. They can send a patrol car and escort me to my vehicle, or they can adjust that camera where they can observe the parking lot. And I've been in the back of the police station and I've seen those monitors. The capability of those cameras are amazing. So it's not all about the element coming on campus. It's about us being smart. I'm 4'11". I left the building. I saw 2 young men walking through the gate. I didn't run back in the building. I saw them eating and I thought, they couldn't wait till they get to the dorms to eat that? That was my first response. I didn't feel threatened. I felt safe. And I feel safe. I don't feel scared to go to my car at night because someone's going to rob me, steal my car, shoot me. I don't. This is family. This is not my alma mater, but I love Virginia State University. I do. This is home for you guys. You're not here to get high. You're not here to be a baby mama, be a baby daddy. You're here to get an education. All that extra stuff you can do at home.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right. All right, so doing homecoming, right? When they had the little shooting, how come the officer told me I had to stand outside with my guests because they ain't go here? So we just standing outside and they outside shooting. Like, yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you?
That's
I
what
missed
had
part
to
of it.
say. Yeah, that's what I had to say.
Can you say it one more time, you man? I missed it.
During the homecoming concert, when we was on lockdown, I had to wait outside with my guests because they didn't go here, and we supposed to be on lockdown. So why was I forced to stand outside? All right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't safe. The officer made me stand outside with my guests instead of letting me stay inside where it's safe at, since everybody got something smart to say.
Do you mind if we address that afterwards? You can come up. I think I have a feeling I want to ask more questions about what happened, and there may be some circumstances. So after, can you come up?
I got you.
Thank you.
Hey, Bruce, you keep.
Okay, so I just wanted to know, could you guys explain the lockdown procedure?
All right, no problem. I'll explain it to you. Basically, on campus, we do the lockdown procedure for the safety of everyone on campus. So how it works is we send out a campus lockdown alert. It usually comes with a few words of what you should do. That would be go inside and stay inside. That'll be a main one. I'll go deeper. Then it could be one, go inside, lock doors, turn off lights, lay on the floor, or other directions. So it would get detailed more and more. It may be several coming out. So everyone should be on the rave alert. Sign up for every rave alert, every student. What it does is it gets us be able, it allows us to be able to clear the campus so we can see who is who and what is going on. It is for your safety. It is for your safety. Now, when you get inside, you are supposed to stay inside and look for a RA RC or someone in charge and let them know who you are, what room you're from, etc. So they can take count if that's what we need. Because some procedures can get real in depth where we might have to systematically go from building to building. With that being said, then you should go to your room and relax and wait unless you give other directions to do something differently. What we are going to implement, which we did implement at one of our last lockdowns, if you recall in the summer, students may not be here, is that we're going to send anybody off campus. If you're off campus, no one can come on campus during a lockdown. No one leaves, no one comes. So if you are a valid student, staff, faculty, and you need to come on campus, we will send you to an area or location to wait. For an example, Gateway Dining Hall. You will go in there and you will wait till all clear is given, then you can come on campus. It doesn't matter your title, who you are, statics, etc. You will not get on campus pretty much unless myself or someone in law enforcement charge say you can come on. So it is for your ultimate safety. And basically, we're going to have training. We're going to put this out. And lastly, we have every month, we have training on a citizen's response to active shooter. That gives you even more instruction and training, hands-on, etc., on what to do under some type of campus shooting or active shooter. So I encourage you to embrace us and have a partnership with us and start going through these trainings. So when these incidents happen, you know exactly what to do, and you can be a leader to lead someone that don't know next to you.
If I could piggyback off of what Chief said, as a civilian, if you will, I've had to come to understand that and I'm going to break it out into 3 areas and when we do lockdowns. One of them, of course, is when there is an active situation, when there's a possibility that you can be harmed. And a lot of times in that situation, you already know it, you see it, and we call for a lockdown. The second one, sometimes it doesn't appear, sometimes it looks like the situation is over, but the police are actively looking for someone who's moving around campus. And so it may seem dead or like everything is all gone and it's been an hour since the event and the university is still on lockdown. That's another reason why the lockdown will continue to go. And then last but certainly not least, sometimes when there's a crime scene and the police, there's so many police at the crime scene that they don't have the wherewithal to really police and patrol the rest of campus because they're all structured in one area trying to make sure that they get the right evidence. Sometimes in those situations also, again, it could be an hour or 2 after the incident and the university is still under lockdown. And so the key is that even if you kind of think, well, I know it's over, I know what happened, it can still be very beneficial for us to have a lockdown and for everyone to comply with the lockdown procedures.
Okay, I have one more question. When you guys send out rave alerts, could you guys be like a little bit more descriptive? Because you guys say lot 19. Nobody knows where that's at. So,
What now? Say that again. Okay. Here you go. We have so many characters put out on text message. So what we do is we pull out quick and fast text message. We email and phone call. So if you listen or watch, look for the email or the phone call, it will give you more information. Yeah, I will make sure on the email portions and the phone calls we try to get more. Sometimes, hear me out please, sometimes it's imperative that we put it out fast as possible. So if I have a template that says lockdown on campus or in a certain area and we hit send, it's better to get that message out quick. We can always come back the next minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes later with more information. information. So sometimes it's just better to put it out quick as possible, i.e., shots being fired. We want people to move, get out the area, get indoors quickly. We will send more information.
Excuse me.
Good evening. Okay, so I don't realize after every situation, you have juniors, seniors, alumni all stating like, oh, this is nothing new. This is the normal. You know, y'all freshmen, y'all sophomore, y'all just new to this, right? So it's understood that campus has been unsafe. So why does it take a young man getting shot for all of this to now happen? If campus has been unsafe and it's noted that it's been unsafe, this is nothing normal. I mean, yeah, this is nothing new. This is normal. Why does it take for somebody getting shot for now all this enforcement? Why does it take this man's his life is the reason why now we want to get all this security. We want to be protective now. Everything been unsafe. Why does it take his life for all of this to happen? Campus been unsafe. Why does it take him getting shot? Like, what if that was me? Oh, it took me getting shot for you to care. With no disrespect, I understand all of y'all said y'all are fathers and y'all care about the safety in each and every one of us. But campus been unsafe. Y'all didn't care then. Now that he got shot, now we care?
I think I think the short, and there's a short and long answer. I think the short answer is I'm not sure that everyone would agree. People have different opinions, certainly. Have there been challenges on campus? Yes. Do I believe that campus has been unsafe? I'm not sure I would have always agreed with that statement. I've tried not to invoke my personal thing, but not only do I think of all of you as my children, but my daughter is here late into the evening on campus. And so it's important to me personally, and it's important to me because you are here. We are always, and when I say always, I mean always looking to see what we can do to make campus more safe and to appear safer. We have added lights. We've added over $1 million in lights over the past 2 years. We've added officers in the past couple of years. We've added additional training. We are always looking to see what we can do to improve. And so then when we see every situation that happens, we look at the situation and we say, what could we have done better? And then we try to use that as a lesson to become better. But we have been a part of becoming better, honestly, for as long as Virginia State University has been here. And it didn't start today, and it won't end with today. So I think that's the longer answer. He's in the hospital, but what I would say is that yes ma'am, after any incident, no matter how big or small, there is a reflective time with the police and sometimes a reflective time with me to talk about what we can do better. It happens with every single event that happens on campus. We are reflective about it.
Okay, I'm Mrs. Griffin Hammonds in student conduct. You can't hear me? I'm Mrs. Griffin Hammonds in student conduct. I happen to rent a room not far from the campus, so I'm walking the campus all hours of the night. 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Because of my size and I wear a cap, most of you don't even realize that I'm not a student. I see a lot of things that you shouldn't be doing, and I've talked to some of you, not maybe in this room, but some of the others. I want you to know this past week, I was on my way past Whiting Hall. I saw what appeared to be two young ladies go in. Something said, turn around. I looked around. The little swipe light was blinking. And I'm like, is it supposed to be blinking? I'm going home. And some say, go look at that door. Tell me why a piece of broken wood, not wood, but what's the name of that stone? It's a stone, was stuck in the door. You all have to be responsible. You have to take control of your actions. You have to take responsibility for it. You all are allowing others to come on this campus, and you know it's wrong. And you're not only endangering your lives, you're endangering other people's. You have to take responsibility for your actions. You are young adults. We've been young adults. We've made mistakes. We can tell you because we made them. We're not trying to be mean. We're not trying to harm you. We want what's best for you, but you've got to want what's best for yourselves. Bottom line.
Hold on one second. I see, as a former instructor in classroom, I can see a lot of rumbling, and I've seen some people kind of get up and leave. And so I think that I want to keep going, but I would like to, Rev, if you could come to the front. What I want to do is officially close, and then we can keep going, and people who want to stay and stick around and ask more questions can do that, and others who might have a class or something else can go and do that. I want to say this before I hand it to Rev to kind of to bring us some words coming out. You've heard a lot, but I think what I've heard across everybody is that the responsibility of keeping our campus safe is ours, right? The responsibility for keeping campus safe is ours. It is mine. It is Chief's, the faculty and staff who are here, and every single one of you. And I'm telling you, anything we do together, we can't help but win. But when we decide that it's someone else's job more important than our own, when I say it's the students more than us, I'm going to have a problem. We have to make sure that we do this together because, one, we love each other, but more importantly, we care about the legacy of Virginia State. 135 years of providing access to quality opportunities. We need to make sure we do our part to make sure Virginia State University is here for a while. Rev?
Thank you. If maybe all, if you're able, please stand. And let us leave being aware that there's a light, no matter how much illumination is outside, there is a light on the inside of each and every person that is brighter than anything that would try to put it out. Please know that you're that light. You have been lit. You are lit for a good purpose. Go in peace. Amen.
If anybody wants, again, if you want to stick around, please come up towards the front. We'll do it a little bit more informally. And if you're ready to go, we certainly understand, and that's fine too.
Take this, Mom.